attracting investors. We looked at, we had Mr. Emeka Aso here, and he talked to us about his efforts in trying to get investors to Rivers State, and his effort in trying to get Rivers State government to work with him to get investors in, and how that has panned out. And interestingly, that same week, I think on Friday, we had the governor saying that Rivers State is a safe haven for investors and they are ready. And that conversation makes it even more interesting for us today on Talking Figures, because we would like to go right into it. I have a business mogul joining me on the show today because I'm asking a very key question at the time that Rivers State is in the news for the not so great reasons. Yeah, I'm talking about the crisis that we're facing. The question of how can we attract investment into Rivers State at this time. Yes, we all know it's been in the news about the crisis. There are even predictions that it's not ending in the next 3 months, no matter what's happening now. That what's happening is going to keep happening. I do not know. We cannot tell. But one thing we know is that investors are needed in Rivers State at this time. So how can we attract them? Yes, you can join the conversation. And yes, because we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and you can also drop comments on X, that's a form of Twitter, and then on WhatsApp as well. You can drop your messages on WhatsApp at 0809 030 6416. How can we attract investors to Rivers State at this time? That's the question I'm asking. We're live on YouTube and Facebook at Nigeria Info P. I mentioned earlier that I have a business mogul joining me. He's not just that, he's many things. And at the course of our conversation today, we'll definitely be knowing and learning more. Please let's he's joining me via telephone. Of course, you know, if I'm having a business mogul on air, you should know that they hardly have the time. So we're really happy that he's able to make time to be with us today. I'm talking the Deputy National President, Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, NACCIMA, Dr. Emi Membere Otaji. He joins me now via telephone. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Dr. Emi, thank you for joining us. We know how busy this period can be for people like you, business moguls, but we have a very important conversation because of the timing we find ourselves as a state. Can you still hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. All right. So it was great to have you, I was saying, and we'll get right to it. How can we attract investors? Because last week we dealt with all that has gone, that has happened when it comes to, you know, what government has done and what government hasn't done. And today, let's just start with, I mean, we all know about the data from 2022 that the last quarter of 2022, no foreign investors were seen in Rivers State. There were no foreign investment as attracted into Rivers State. It wasn't just Rivers State, but Rivers State was a very key one for us because of our position as a state. We have 2 airports, 2 refineries, and natural resources, and yet we find ourselves in that kind of list. Not impressed. And so we want to know, how can we attract let's start with local investors now.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me once again. Truth is, as a common cliche that investment funds is shy, or investment funds is often afraid. That means it goes to where it feels comfortable. So, obviously, no brainer why Nigeria as a whole, in this stage, FDI, foreign direct investment, have been reducing in the country. And of course, Rivers State is part of the country. Although we are unique, a bit unique, but we are particularly key. We are not getting it right. And then, so it's important. Why? And then also to say that before we proceed, they say there's a common thing they say in the rural places, that is the inside rat that shows the outside rat in ways coming to a house. By that I mean the local investors. Local means local to the River State, local to Nigeria. Because when the external foreign investors are seeing where the traction is going, tendencies, they will go there. So you must be doing things. It's not a fluke. It is intentional. It is intentional. Well, Nigeria, everybody knows. Oh, a lot of the existing companies, some are going. People that have been there, pharmaceutical companies, the big names are going. Of course, in Nigeria, 2007, Port Harcourt, we had the big Michelin that was huge. Yes, and ever since, in different parts, companies are going. And in recent, they've been going to FDI, has been going down. They're going to other places more where they feel more comfortable in Africa to invest at our expense. So for Nigeria, of course, you know what has happened for years. Let's take it on Nigeria before we even come to River State. You know what it is. I mean, you are an investor. What is foreign a foreign investor? Foreign investor is foreign money that is from outside. Assuming I'm there out there, I have $100 million, and I'm bringing it from outside to invest in Nigeria. So there's a cross-border movement of the money. Company, new funds, either to acquire an existing company or to start something from bottom up, a new one, or even to expand an existing line from a production line, add more production lines. These are all part of things that is foreign direct. So you can see that those are things. But if I'm doing that, obviously I need to get my money out, my profit out. So if you put a monetary policy that makes it difficult for me to get my money out, it's going to be a problem for me. And then other issues, security issues, infrastructural issues, and all things that we, even local investors, have been crying about. So these are things that are there. And unfortunately, even the regulators that are supposed to... Are you hearing me?
Yeah, louder, like, go on. Okay, we just lost our guest, and okay, I'm going to try to get him back on. But at this point, we're going to open the phone lines, and I would like to hear your thoughts. What is it that we can do to attract investors, local or foreign, who like to know? Of course, you know there's a crisis in Rivers State, but should that even stop investors? How can we ensure it doesn't? 0817-923-0002. You can also call 0817-923-0003. And do not forget that we're live on Facebook and also live on YouTube, and you can call, you can drop your messages there as well. I will be reading them as well. And then on X as well, at Nigeria Info PH, you can also drop your comments. And the WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. Before my guest was cut off, you heard him share his thoughts there about how we can actually attract investors into River State at this time. I have a call coming in. Let me see. Hello, good afternoon. Ida from Nkoro.
I really love this topic. Well, for investors to come in, it's our youth to stop fighting, kidnapping. At least when these investors come in, like I'm from Nkoro, they are doing electrical work there. I cannot go and them to collect homemade from them. I give them that support. To work with them, to hire boys to work with them. Whatever thing they have, they give to the boys. Not we, please lady on them. It will pursue them. Now when they work, I say whatever thing you have, give to the boys. I'll tell the boys that this thing is your community something. And like people are happy working with them. So when we see people go to work in our state, we should support them with our strength, not to give them levy. So when they go back, they will bring more people coming. Master, thank you very much. God bless you. I'm going to from Nkoro.
All right, thank you for your thoughts there, Honorable Ida from Nkoro there. All right, I have Patrick from Iche. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon.
I am on Mother Patrick. I'm calling from Afreche.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, the only way forward to attract investors in River State is to peace, to reign in the state. Because if there is peace in the state, it will also attract investors to know that that place is a level ground. That if there is peace, it will make investors to come. What I'm urging everybody is, River State is our state. Let us make state peace to reign in the state. That will attract investors to come to our state.
Peace.
Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you there, Patrick, from calling from Eche. Thank you, Patrick, for your thoughts. And still trying to get the guests to join us again. I've had Dr. Emi Membere Otaji, and of course, he's a former commissioner for health. He's a lot of things. That's why I began. Okay, let me tell you. He's a former commissioner for health, and he's a business mogul. In case you do not know, he's a business mogul, and he's the past president of the Port Harcourt Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. Dr. Membere Otaji is an event speaker. He's also, I've told you already that he's deputy president of NACCIMA, that's Nigerian Association of Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. He's also the chairman and CEO of Escon Group of companies with interest in oil and gas, shipping, and healthcare. He's a medical doctor who's turned to an entrepreneur, and so he knows a lot about attracting investment in a state like Nigeria. Having been within the corridors of power and being a commissioner himself, he understands what it takes to be able to do this at this time that we find ourselves trying to, the last caller talked about peace. Beyond peace, what actions must be taken? And we're expanding the conversation this week because we need to look at it holistically. Apart from what the government can do, what can we all do? And so that's why we have Dr. Emi Membere Otaji on the show to talk to us about his strategies that we can actually start adopting, not just the government now, but local investors or you living in River State, all of us from River State, living in River State, what we can all do to better position to be able to attract local investors. Yes, I see Dr. Emi, you've joined us again. Thank you for joining us again. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry we missed ourselves. So as I was saying, basically that is it for the Nigeria as a whole. I mean, I talked about a few of the things, the insecurity, infrastructure. I mentioned a few. I mean, investors coming in, he wants to get his money in, and at the duration of his period, go to take his profit. It is part of it. Take it. Take them here and you know what it is. I mean, even those of us, who have money in accounts, the USD or pounds, you can't get it out. You know what the foreign airlines talk about, that they cannot get their money. That is, people buy tickets and they cannot get their ticket money out to their home country. So you can imagine what it is, what an investor will mean. These are just airlines that you can see, and some of them, like Emirates and all that, said, look, enough is enough, and others. So that's it for the foreigner. And incidentally, unfortunately, even the regulators, the various regulators that regulate, there are too many regulators. For too many people regulating businesses, too many federal government agencies, NDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies. All of them are kill you. What I mean kill you, kill the business. But it shouldn't be. They should facilitate. But they are not. Most of them, the Nigerian factor, unfortunately. I know
Nigerian Info. Right back after this.
We'll be back. Mike is still talking figures. Apologies for that break, how you went off there. But yes, we had to go on the break and we're back now. He's talking figures. And before the break, we had Dr. Membere Otaji talking to us about how we can attract investment in Rivers State despite the crisis being seen right now. Dr. Otaji, thank you for staying there. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please go on.
Back to Rivers State. We've talked about all the issues about federal, the national hindrances to foreign direct investment. Let's come to Rivers State. I can tell you, Rivers State has a lot of advantages. The presenter indeed mentioned some of the things. We are a coastal state. It means that being coastal, all the things that go with the blue economy, we can benefit. Seaports, you mentioned, airports, and all that. A lot of tertiary institutions, infrastructures, and I must give it to the last government of Rivers State, the Port Harcourt metropolis and its immediate environment. We've got the road infrastructure is very visible, except, of course, the road to that's element access that is still so bad, even though it's still within the same perimeter. But unfortunately, that area is bad. But generally, the road infrastructure is good. So, and then it is a peaceful, livable state, whether we like it or not. But there are also hindrances. The security issues that I can tell you for free. Security, is it the perception or is it the reality? It is more of a perception than the reality in Rivers State. I will tell you. Look, and also depends on how we, the leaders, the political leaders, and so on, portray ourselves. Look at Edo State. Edo State doesn't have much infrastructural facilities that Rivers State has. But maybe one way, there's not much bravado from the leadership, the political leadership. There's a lot of smiles. Please come into my state. Oh, please come into my state. And it just say people, investors are going. Local and international and foreign investors are going. Look at Cross River during the time of Donald Trump. They did. They were going. All you are living inside beyond investment. A lot of tourism. When Donald Trump was there, what was the difference? And when he left, everything just
disappeared. Yes.
Basically, that is it. It is so a lot of leadership issues are things, despite their advantages. And back to our perception. The perception is only yesterday I was in one of the membership associations. We are they are supposed to do a meeting, their national meeting, big national meeting, one of the biggest associations for Rivers State for 2024. I said, oh no, don't go to Rivers State because of insecurity. And thank God I was in the meeting, and I said, come. First, whatever you are hearing, it's not as well. People are going about. So there's a perception. So there has to be a deliberate part of the government to portray Rivers State, to invest Rivers State, invest in Rivers State, nationally and locally. There must be deliberate, intentional. That has not taken place. That has not, unfortunately, despite all our advantages, that has not taken place. So we still have, go ahead, people have the perception, and then nobody is consistently, not just one of, consistently saying that it is not so. The insecurity, Lagos has more insecurities than Port Harcourt, than Rivers State. But Port Harcourt has the name. Now, investors are going to Katsina. Look at their statistics. Katsina, with all the things, even rails, they are kidnapping, road, the Abuja, Kaduna, they are doing. But some government saying, come to Governor, Kaduna is the place. There are incentives. There are this, will give it. There are this, and then people are going despite the challenges. So the state has not taken such deliberate things to douse the perception people have about us, and it's a very unfortunate. And of course, the way we play the politics here. So if it in some states you see if two parties, one state controlling state, one in the federal, when it comes to their state, they stay together. They bring things for to their state. But yeah, once you don't do, once the other one dies, things that he's doing to the governor who is sitting from the opposing party. But he forgets that it is the people. It is the people, including his own people. Because when investors come in, there will be a lot of SMEs around it. There will be a lot of, small, medium, and scale, micro and small, medium industries round about it.
True.
The hotels, the
all right.
The transportation and all that will go in.
All right, Dr. Taji, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now from what you're saying, it's obvious that the current administration, they have quite a job cut out for them there in terms of all you've just explained. But specifically, what kind of policy recommendations would you be making? Policy recommendations or initiatives would you suggest the government and businesses in River State, actually do to position better to attract these investors?
Well, thank you. Policy, I will tell you, talk is cheap. Anybody can write a policy and don't walk the talk and will not get there. I've been special advisor on investment and privatization in this state. Some many years ago, and I know how it works. There has to be a deliberate desk. Put there, you put people, the economic team, the investment team, and tell them they should have access to whoever it is, the governor or whoever high up, secretary of government, deputy governor, whoever it is that can act. Now, with that, a lot of these issues that investors have will be taken away. So it doesn't have to be a place, political capital, because I know the governor, I bring investors. The next time when the governor I know has left,
that's the only access.
Yeah, because that's usually what happens. But it shouldn't be. I don't need to. It doesn't have to have a political capital in it. So I don't have to own it. It should be seamless. It is the way it is.
So we need a system. We need a system. We need a system. Can you hear me, Dr. Waji? You need a Doctor. Yes, we need a system that interfaces consistently with investors. That's what you're trying to say. I agree with you. If we remember what our guest last week talked about, he expressed frustration because he actually had made deliberate efforts to try to get the German embassy and the Austrian embassy to meet with the River State government, and that hasn't exactly worked out. In fact, he talked about the one he tried with the Wiki administration and how, yes, when the Austrian embassy officials came to River State, they were received quite well at the government house, but the government wasn't able to reciprocate that visit, and that became a body language that was acceptable to the Austrian government. And so that's how all the plans they had at the time, including...
Let me tell you.
Yes.
As I said, I'm talking from experience. I'm talking because I was special advisor, investment and privatization in this state. I'm talking because I was president of our Chamber of Commerce. And I was the leader or head of the World Energy City Partnership that Port Harcourt joined, so that the energy-related things, they even boosted. So, and then today, National Deputy President. When you go out, meet these people who want to come in. You can't. It takes access. Which door do you go and knock? And forget Dr. Member. Dr. Member may have access to whoever is the governor because it is me. But it shouldn't be about the person. There should be no political capital. You should have a desk office that it will go, you want land, this. You want there, this. Only 3 weeks ago, I was talking with a lady friend, a woman, a former federal permanent secretary. She said she bought injection materials to make drip, a lot from Germany. And she just approached the Ogun State government. And in Shagamu, they provided land. They provided, and on the day she was doing, that the governor, he didn't send director of commerce. The governor himself came to flag it open. Multi-billion project. And the deputy governor of Lagos, because it's close to Lagos, said they want the drip. And you know what? They told all the hospitals that if this product meets all the qualifications and the price is good, that it's competitive and meets all the things, please take government in, please, from her. You see the incentives, you see the encouragement. She's already increasing her line. They want to make injections now. You know what it is? But in Rivers, I'm sorry, I'm being frank. It gets difficult. So there has to be a deliberate and a deliberate intention. And I still want to believe that what we are going through, it is a problem that came up since after the Land Use Act. Unfortunately, to the core Niger Delta State. Because every month you go to Abuja and you collect your money, plenty money, 13% derivation and all those big amounts of money you collect. So you really don't have motivation to attract investors. Maybe these other places and other places, they have motivation because they have no big money from oil and gas. And that was what happened. The pre-war, pre-Nigerian civil war, because there was a lot of incentive. The North made a lot of their groundnut pyramid and made a lot of money from it. The West, cocoa became a big deal. And in the East, we had our palm and other agro produce. And palm at that time, and we were there. We were number one in this country. What has happened? Today, since we now start going to collect money from Africa. So what I'm saying is that there has to be a deliberate and intentional thing on the part of the government. And also, the populace, we, the people, residents here, the natives and non-natives, our mindset has to change. From entitlement mentality. You can bring a small investor to one community and do it. They forget that they are people who are there. They forget that the small suppliers and all that are from their side. So next time, the way they treat Shell, they think everybody is Shell. Next time, they will put green leaf on the gate. Next time, they will all sorts of things. Meanwhile, you are paying all the taxes to government. In fact, they have multiple taxation. I remember a few years ago when I was president of the Chamber of Commerce, Port Harcourt, the government at the time, they cut off and they cut me and a few other OPF people, and they found that there were tens and tens of taxes at the state level, multiplication of taxes at the state level, and duplication at the LGA level, such that we are people going from Emoha to Ikwere local government, new tax. The same vehicle, same truck going. You have new tax from one local government to the other, forgetting that so you have 23 LGAs, 23 stickers. It shouldn't be. There's no harmonization of the taxes. So the problem we have about investment here, and it tends to, is because, as I said, I repeat, deliberate and intentional from the leadership. And if you do it, you will get it. It's not rocket science. But that course or River State is such a nice place. I have an office in Lagos. My home is Port Harcourt. I feel more at home here. But I have my oil and gas and shipping is in Lagos. But I'll go there and stay in a hotel. I'd rather stay in a hotel or in a small rental place. Then I come here and stay home. But leadership, the government, and the followers, the people, there has to be a lot of. We have to do things differently. And it's not rocket science. You will have local investors coming in. You will be the foreign investors will come in. And then they have open door. Look, there was one Nigerian NICC, Nigerian Investment Promotion Council. The leadership, the executive secretary, a friend of mine, was trying to say, look, and government give just a small office within their premises, even of the government premises, so that they can work, so that they can bring things closer to the people in the South. No access. No, not. We can't nowhere. It's up, even if they are free, no problem. But you won't get it. Or it's land CFO. Because, CFO is a problem. Let's face it. You get land and there's no CFO. You cannot use that land to borrow money. Foreign investors who have to, because it's a problem, local investors who have problems. So we have advantage far and above this, our other competing states. We have an advantage. Look at now, Dangote, I will tell you, My vessels were involved in the pipe lay project. I mean, we are not doing the pipe lay, but we use it to do the pipe lay. And you know what? Where was the crude oil, the gas and oil coming from? Coming from the Niger Delta, offshore Port Harcourt. They are piping it to go to Lagos, to go to Lagos. And each time I was paying, but I want to do my business, providing my vessels for them. But you know what? That refinery should have been in the Niger Delta, because elementary economics, location of industry, nearness to raw materials. I think, well, like this economics, elementary economics, nearness to raw materials. So here, the nearness to raw materials, they have to spend millions of dollars to pipe it underground. What? Because things are challenging here. Things are toxic in the area that they are supposed to do. So I think it's important that those toxic things are. See, we can't. Dubai have oil. Abu Dhabi have oil. Yes, today Dubai is their oil. They're not even looking at their oil. They're not producing. They have refineries. They are selling crude and all that. But financial services, every other thing, tourism, just mention healthcare. You've been to Dubai. Just look, everything is there. That's their main focus. We should have that, not because we go every month to Abuja and collect money from federal allocation, and we forget that this is what we've got to do. Look, crude oil time. It's time for crude oil. Many countries are saying, they went to COP28 recently in Dubai.
Yeah.
They say fossil fuel, their days are limited. No brainer. When Port Harcourt history, you know about Port Harcourt history? When they found coal was the crude oil equivalent of the time. 1909, when they Udi in Enugu, they found coal. That's why the British said, coal, the main thing that we are looking for, the energy thing, the equivalent of crude oil today, they start to look for a near place in the mainland. Because before we are in Braz, Bonima, Bonny, and all that. Those are, islands. That's how the Port Harcourt port of Harcourt. They set up the port so that made the rail line straight to the port from Enugu. That's how it is. So you can see what, and I grew up as my father worked in NCA, so I grew up in the maritime shipping thing. I saw it pre-war and post-war. And I saw it, all the industry. Port Harcourt was the happening place after Lagos. Was competing with Lagos. It's one that was called the Garden City. So it was not just the industrial, but because Garden City leisure. Port Harcourt was a leisure place. All
right. Okay, now.
Who can get it done again?
Okay. Yes, Doctor, stay on the line now and let's get to the phone line 0817-923-0002 and you can also call 0817-923-0003. That's the number to call. We are asking the question, how can we attract investors in real estate at a time like this? What's the time? A time of crisis. Of course, if you've been following the news, you know there's been a political crisis started in October. And that's where we've been. Where and how can we position? And we've had Dr. Emmy Member Ataji explaining all that we can do. He's identified a lot of things, from multiple taxations to duplication of taxes to infrastructure, not utilizing even the ones we already have. He's listed so many things. The list is quite long. And if we can fix all of these things, including having a particular office dedicated to ensuring that investors have someone to talk to, and not waiting for someone who knows the governor, that knows the governor, that knows the governor to take them to the governor. Okay, having a system that that just gets them in. Okay, and that can help us to begin to see that there are lots of people who are willing to invest in real estate. That's an interesting conversation we've been having. And yes, we are live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube at Nigeria Info PH, and also on X. You can drop your messages there, and the WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. That's 0809-030-6416. That's the WhatsApp number, and you can drop your messages there. So let's go to the messages. I have a message here from Americana from Obakiri. He says, "Good afternoon, presenter. I think we should stop chasing shadows. Let's drag foreign investors instead of political structure." And that's one thing I was also going to ask you now, Dr. Ataji. Do you think I personally have been to a terrains and areas and environments where most people do not care who the governor is or who the councillor is not as politically charged as Rivers State is. Is it a strength for us that we have such a highly politically charged environment? Is it a pro or a con for business?
Thank you so much. I think I've alluded to it. The way we play our politics in Rivers State.
Okay.
And whatever we are going through, Edo went through it. You remember a few years ago, Edo went through it, correct? When all these things, sitting governor and all that, did it affect them the way it is affecting us? No. Our own is just, it is, as I said, there's a lot of, I alluded to it, where if you are in one party, the other party is troubled. I remember I was as president of the Chamber of Commerce, Port Harcourt. Every quarter, there used to be quarterly presidential business luncheon at the villa, at the in Abuja. And each time I was talking about Port Harcourt port and investments to Port Harcourt and issues and all that. And do you know, each time I talk, when he talks, the person that will oppose me the most was the minister from Rivers State. In the same hall, other ministers, other investors, business people in the villa. And when we are having the lunch, people come and say, what's going on? What is going on in your place? Do you understand? It's the way they play for insecurity. Your governors are bad in Nigeria. Your governors are bad. The same man. When the president's place was hot with kidnapping in Mina and not Mina in Katsina and Katsina, put everything there. And I would say, so I don't see security. What I'm trying to say precisely is that there has to be a lot of mindset in our leadership and our followership. That the state is one state. Don't destroy it. Don't destroy whatever you are doing. The bravado, either from leadership, bravado. There is no king. There is not a forest. We're not in the forest. There is no king of the jungle. So just have a more positive man, more attractive man. And then, look, when I was commissioner, I tried not to mention names of the leaders at the time. He used to even, on all these national and international associations events, support them, attract. We used to go and bid for them. Please come and bid for what you are telling you. You know why? When they come, they will see that the perception and the reality are different. They will see that it's not as bad as people say. Then apart from that, during that period, the hotels, the transportation, the bullet seller, all that, it will affect the macroeconomic of the state, correct? Or especially of the it will. So those are the intentional things we are talking about, and it works. But now, if you want to, it's difficult to even see, to talk, to come. So there has to be a lot of mindset change. We've mentioned quite a lot, but it is deliberate on the leadership. It is leadership to say, look, we want these things done. I'm happy the current governor has said a couple of positive things. If he can walk the talk, I can tell you there are a lot of Rivers people, a lot of people who are living in Rivers State. There are a lot of lovers of Rivers State, who are residents in Rivers State, who are in Lagos, Abuja, abroad, who will do it pro bono, no fee, don't pay them. Just get the Rivers State back to where it was at the Garden City, for the Rivers State and the Port Harcourt Garden City. The beautiful city. Beautiful city. We are fine. We are good. It's just, I'm sorry, a lot of things going wrong that leadership can change.
Okay, now let's go to X. We have a message on X that says the toxic atmosphere caused by political, social, and economical reasons is a turnoff. Rivers should draw parallel with states that are more welcoming. Port Harcourt is in the same boat as Warri, and we can all agree is not a fun state to be. Let's stay with that for a moment now, Dr. Otaji. What is it that we must do in Rivers State to make it more welcoming? Isn't it welcoming already?
Well, as I said, what we do, we set things that attract investors. As God will have it, as I said, we have it, some natural, some have been done. I was talking about Rivers, the Port Harcourt metropolis and its immediate environment. As I said, apart from the road from there, have beautiful roads, beautiful network of roads, beautiful housing estates are coming on. See, whatever investors, apart from where you want to take their money, and of course, as I said, investment funds are shy. It doesn't want to go where there is any problem. So insecurity and the people, community people, that's a mindset. Some reorientation has to happen. Because everybody thinks, all of us were born with, Shell came to us, or Shell came to collect our oil, Shell. So every person, even today now, you go and set up a business, maybe a foreign investor, even a local investor, set something somewhere. Next time, some chief is coming, some palace people, some youth are coming, knocking at door, apart from the multiple taxation. So there has to be a deliberate, as I said, each time I said, deliberate and intentional, and it will come from the government. I remember there was a governor that said in this state, all these marching grounds must stop. And it stopped all these community people going to harass people. He said it must stop. He arrested a of them and put them in prison custody. He did. At that period, some sanity came to be. Those are the things we are talking about. So he should know that in terms of insecurity, nowhere is totally secured in Nigeria or the world. Nowhere.
Okay.
Investors, even this Rwanda that people are going, or these other East African countries, or even some other West African countries, they are going because there is some level of insecurity. You see, look at the government deliberate intention. Two, there's the change of mindset. People are positive about investors and investment, and people are looking at the bigger picture of what that investment will bring to their neighborhood, their country, their state, their city. So they have that, and yet they don't have the things we have. An investor, apart from all these things, want to see where his staff and him will live, will work, and play.
Okay.
Port Harcourt is a livable city. So
all right. Now, Dr. Taji, on a final note, can you hear me?
Yeah,
on a final note, I would like you to tell us, just imagine right now that investors, both local and foreign, are listening to this conversation. What key sectors or industries in Rivers State do you see as particularly resilient or promising for potential investors, and why would you think so?
Thank you so much. Well, in everything, in business, we say there are low-hanging fruit. We start from the low-hanging fruit. What are our advantages as a state? We are a coastal state. So you look at the coast. What are the blue economy? The trawling, that commercial fishing things are all there. And then what we have. Rivers State, under the National Zero Oil Program, Rivers State is palm produce and cassava. Palm, Nigeria was our big deal those days. And we still have it.
Yeah.
So a lot of, and in palm, there's everything can be used. So a business starts to share with it. And again, because of the two ports we have and the location we have in the Gulf of Guinea. In the Gulf of Guinea, look, you've heard a lot about Singapore. Singapore today is a first world country. Singapore was kicked out by Malaysia because they were like, you are an entrance. You are giving me too much stress. Go. You are not bringing anything to the table. Singapore was kicked out. Today, Singapore with good leadership. Singapore is a first world where everything was. Yes, Singapore is a dot in the ocean. It's just a route, ocean route. So shipping, shipbuilding, ship-related business, and it's a huge thing. And in maritime, and I can tell you, shipping, and that was how Port Harcourt was. From the time they created, Port Harcourt was created in 1913, about it was the thing was around shipping. So shipping is a big thing.
Okay.
Mauritius, the same thing.
All
So
right.
we can do that, and then we now also have the agro produce and the palm and all that. So those are all low-hanging fruit. And by the time you are going about the maritime related in shipping, the fishing, and then the agro produce and all that, and then oil and gas. The oil and gas value chain is a lot, especially today they are talking about gas. So these are all businesses that you can start with. Then you now have to talk about the support services, the professional services, the financial services, the hospital healthcare business, the education-related businesses.
Okay, Dr. Taji, the list goes on, I can see, but we gotta go actually. And I want to thank you for making time to be on the show today. Thank you for sharing the strategies, the ideas, and it's been invaluable, really. Thank you for your time, Dr. Taji.
Thank you so much for having me once again. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's been Deputy National President, Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, NACCIMA, Dr. Emi Membere Otaji. The full conversation you can watch live on Facebook and YouTube in case you didn't start from the beginning. It's been a very insightful conversation here, and definitely we'll be doing this again next week, Wednesday. Of course, a different conversation, but still in business. So stay tuned. My name is Choma Izenwafo, and thank you for being with us on the show today. Hard Facts is up next, but before then, Rivers today at 3, and then Hard Facts Canada will be here for you. Until then, do have a lovely time.